Average at Best Cornhole here. Now I'm really starting to think Bramy's Bags and Boards is like the unique fabric guy for the ACO, because I have a series here called Flatline that has a very different herringbone pattern, slow side material on it. Herringbone is a pattern, it's not a material. Unique thing about this one is that it's actually rotated horizontally compared to the closing seam, which isn't as common as the vertical stripes up, and smaller than the common herringbones, but it's super soft to the touch, and they paired it up with a good fast side, and I'm going to get into the details of it. I do want to start with those materials, and like I stated, this slow side material, it is a different herringbone pattern material. It's tighter, smaller, and a little bit softer than the common herringbone you're used to. Now the fast side on these, this is that common surefire game changer fast side that we're all used to. It's usually rated like an 8 and 8.5. And then Bramy does list the speed for the slow side is a 5. I never got it down to a 5 speed. I think it plays faster than that. I would almost say it plays closer to a 6 in my mind. I've been throwing this bag a lot more because I wanted to try to fuzz it up and get it to slow down. It just never really slowed down to that speed to me. Now, NOLA Bags Rex is a unique herringbone, and that's a hybrid material herringbone pattern. I don't think this is as fast as that bag, but it's definitely faster than normal herringbone materials. Template on these series, it's common to all of Bramy's Bags and Boards. I call it a medium to small template. The fill and flop on these, it does have a mixed fill. I do definitely feel some rounds in there, maybe some semi-rounds and some flats. I like the mixture a lot. It does add drippiness around the hole, paired with that little bit of a faster slow side. And it is still a little active, even though that slow side is a touch faster than what you're used to. As far as flop, they do get floppy. They're not overly floppy. You know, a lot of time mixed fill feels loose in your hand, and it helps the beads roll over your fingertips, and both these materials are soft once they get broke in, so it does give a good hand feel with that floppiness. And the floppiness does help the bag out a little bit too, especially with the forgiveness, because a little bit more flop added to a bag is going to help tame the pellets inside of there from kicking too much on you. I'm going to get into the slide up, and I want to start with the highlight and the low light on these series. And definitely the highlight of it is the hand feel. It has that little bit of flop, but it still has that medium fullness to it. But the greatest thing about it is the materials, how soft they are, and how when you're flipping them over, there isn't a huge contrast in feel between the materials, which I like, because if you do have to flip it over and try to throw the fast side, you're not going to freak out with a different feel in your hand. It really helps build your confidence and get you throwing straighter. The low light on them, I think that the low light's going to be, if you are used to throwing regular herringbone bags, this is going to play differently than what you're used to, and especially that hand feel, like I mentioned, with your fingertips and your fingernails. With those ribs turned horizontally like that, it's going to feel a little bit differently to you when you're gripping the bag. Forgiveness, like I stated earlier, there's enough flop and looseness in this bag that it's going to help tame the forgiveness, but they are an active bag. And since they have that mixed fill, and since they have those round beads, there is potential that this bag is going to kick on you, especially if you don't have a super flat bag. But the kick, it's going to be manageable, especially once you see that kick a couple times, you're going to be able to play that. And the speed of it does help, but it also helps reduce that kick, because a faster bag, it doesn't have, it's going to be going up the board faster, so it's going to have less time to kick on you. I was impressed with the whole bodiness on this bag, especially, if you're comparing it to a regular herringbone bag, because it definitely didn't hang up as much on me that, a regular herringbone bag would. And that's probably the speed, but the mixed fill definitely helps the drippiness on it. Now, I will say that since the template is a little bit smaller, you have to be on target a little bit more. And since it does have that medium fullness, you're not going to accidentally catch some bags on the corner of the hole if you're off your target and you're blowing by it. But I didn't have any hang up on me, and I think the extra speed did help these drip into the hole. I didn't see a lot of issues with collectability on this series, and like I said, it is active, so you have that possibility to do a cut collect with it. It definitely collected straight on, no problems at all. I do think that sometimes mixed fill tends to bounce off of bags a little bit more than what a flat fill will, so you have to be wary of that. My opinion on the playability is that these are more of an offensive bag. Because of that smaller template and because they are active, you can avoid your opponent's blockers a little bit easier. Cut around them or squeeze past them, or if there is a little lane, you're confident that you're going to be able to push this thing through. Now, you can lay a blocker with it. The material is slow enough for that. It's not a super fast material, and it is easy to clean up your own blocker. But I think it's better suited just to run holes with and cut around stuff and do shape your shots or whatever to get your bag in a hole. And another reason why is that hand feel is so good on this. With those materials, how soft they are, it builds your confidence up. And when your confidence is up, you tend to throw a little bit straighter. So it's going to make it easier to put these into the hole for you. You can find Bramy's Bags and Boards on the web at www.Bramy's Bags and Boards. Now he also has a Facebook page, so go over there and give him a like and a follow. It's just at Bramy's Bags and Boards. He does have these stocked on the website. It looks like they are available to order, and you got to go there, check it out, because there is some crazy looking designs for this series. And to touch on the price, they're priced well, $75 for an ACO stamp. And finally, my overall thoughts. Sometimes, I'm a sucker to new material, so sometimes I'm going to be a little bit more biased than normal, but I really enjoyed throwing this bag. It was active enough that I was able to cut it and get around things and put them in the hole. The biggest compliment definitely is that hand fill, because the materials all are soft. And I think where this bag would play well is if you do like herringbone bags, normal herringbone bags, but they are a touch too slow for you, grab this series, because you're going to be impressed how it is just a little bit faster than that. Unfortunately, if you don't have that flat bag, it is going to kick on you, but you probably be able to find a way to play that. And honestly, if you like trying new materials, here's one for you. So go over there and pick yourself up a set. I just want to end this with, you're going to be average at something. Be average at cornhole.